Hey guys, Buzz Glover here. I am the founder of BizLoanConsultants.com. It's a coaching class for teaching people how to broker business loans. I've been doing that pretty much my entire life. I recently published a book as well, Business Loan Brokering 101, that should be available on Amazon early spring 2016. It's actually coming out as I am taping this. And since the beginning of January this year, I decided to take a little change in my life and to start doing some coaching on a business that's been very good to me. So since January, right now I'm taping this in April 2016, I've had a number of questions from various people as I started doing some blogging on BizLoanConsultants.com. And I thought instead of trying to answer them individually, I would shoot a video and try to cover these items, and hopefully you can deal with my chicken scratch up here. But this is what I want to cover in this video today, just to give you a better idea of what I am trying to accomplish through my coaching program. First, and I'll get into my story and my experience. What brokering loans? A lot of times when you talk about brokering loans, people automatically think you're a loan broker and they think of you being a loan shark or something. But you're really providing a lot of value to your customer, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit. What type of fees you can earn, which is probably what's is most interesting to most of you. I want to see if you're really a good fit for coaching with me, and see if you're not fit. There's people that I don't think are really a good fit for getting into my coaching program. Get involved in what the startup costs are, which are very minimal. Out of all the businesses I started, and when I get into my story and my experience, you'll see that I've had a lot of experience starting various brick and mortar businesses and all kinds of crazy stuff. I'm somewhat of a serial entrepreneur. And the last, earning disclaimer, because I am going to talk about some of the money I've earned over the years and how good the business has been to me, but do want to let you know that it's not for everybody, and some people will latch onto the program and just won't get it. So it's just it's a very simple business though, but we'll talk about that just because I think that I need to. But let's start out with my story and my experience, and I'll take this off. Oh, maybe I'll just leave it up. I have no real finance experience. I graduated from Clarion University of Pennsylvania, which is about 2 hours north of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, with a communications degree. I came out of college and I sold advertising for about 6 years, and then I moved into selling postage meters and UPS shipping equipment. This was kind of my first little liaison into finance, because those machines, most of them were financed. Matter of fact, they taught us on an ongoing basis to push leasing, because we knew that every 3 to 5 years we were going to have the customer come up for renewal at the end of the lease, and obviously you can sell more equipment that way. So that was kind of my first little experience into equipment finance. What's odd is that I was interviewed by a bank, and because of that experience, they hired me to go out and call on furniture dealers and value-added resellers for computer value-added resellers. It actually had the Texas Instrument program. And I became a finance guy, equipment finance guy. And I did that for a few years. Then I left and I started a quick printing company. I shouldn't say I started, I bought one. I moved back to Pittsburgh. I was in Los Angeles at the time when I was doing my first equipment finance job. But did that for a few years, and then I sold the printing company and I went back into equipment finance. And this time I called on copier dealers, and I was working for another equipment leasing company, and just went out, and each one of these copier dealers that I called on was doing anywhere from, say, $250,000 a month in leasing to maybe $500,000. So you get an idea of what the volume is. I leave there and I go to Compact Capital, and I'm calling on value-added resellers again. And it was during this experience that really pushed me out on my own and finally made me open my own business loan brokerage. I was calling on a lot of dot-com companies. It was during the dot-com boom. This was late 90s, and I would follow up with these companies that, you know, Compact had a pretty conservative risk level as far as their credit. So I'd bring this new startup company that needed a $500,000 server farm, or $1 million server farm, and Compaq wouldn't do the deal. When I would follow up with the customer, I'd say, hey, did you get that deal done? And they'd go, yeah, we got it done. And they would tell me it was so-and-so. And I started talking to the companies that they're doing it with, and I said, hey, if I went out on my own and I was doing these deals on my own, would you do the deals? And they're like, certainly, we do broker deals all day long. So I start my own equipment leasing brokerage firm called Award Leasing, and this is like late 99, January 2000. I leave Compaq. I became known as the man in Pittsburgh to get equipment finance deals done, especially in the technology area. And throughout my coaching, I'll teach you that you're going to find your own niche. If you're an ex-commercial real estate guy or a real estate guy, it's a good chance that you want to stick with real estate. And I've done a handful of commercial real estate deals, which are actually kind of simple in some respects compared to equipment finance. But the point that I'm making, guys, really no finance experience. After I was in the equipment finance business and my income went up, I was making a couple $100,000 every year, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 some years. And I'll look back on that, so I'm not misguiding you, but I started to veer off into, and to be brutally honest, I started building car washes. And I built my first car wash in 2004. I built my second car wash in 2007. I had a couple partners. We started self-storage coming out of the ground, so I got involved in that business. I actually owned a mobile billboard company for a while, and this was all made available to me through the income I was making through my loan brokerage. And to be honest with you, by steering off of that and veering off into those, finding the next shiny object, it kind of took me away from my core business. Just last year, 2015, I spent the entire year as a consultant with two guys that I grew up in the business with. And we started another leasing brokerage. We funded roughly $25 million during the year with fees around 2%. So we earned about, $500,000 in fee in 1 year time. And we'll talk about that as well. But that's kind of my story. That's how I got involved in equipment finance. And that's my background, and that's why I feel like I'm qualified to coach and to write the book. And everything that I know about the business, I kind of put in that book, and I'm throwing out at you guys in these coaching classes. So, so that's my story, my experience. That's one down. The next thing I want to talk about, brokering loans and the value you provide. A lot of people think, oh, you're a loan broker. They make, loan shark. It kind of has bad connotation. But the reality of it is that you're really providing a service. If you watch the Shark Tank, these guys are all in looking for money. They're giving up big equity stakes in their company so one of the sharks can give them money. I read a statistic just recently that 40% of all bank loans are declined. So, just on my way to work, there's there's probably 50 opportunities of people that probably need money. 40% of them are getting turned down by their bank. And you as a loan broker are providing value to them. Don't ever feel like you're, like you're some loan shark, because that's really not the business. And the reality is you're not really calling on end users. I show you a really cool way of having business come to you each and every day. You don't have to go out and knock on doors and find, call on the local auto repair guy for his frame machine or for his alignment machine. It all comes pretty easily when you call on the guys who are selling the equipment, but I get into that in a later module. So, so you're providing a real good service. Okay, next, the fees you can expect to earn. And maybe what I'll do on a new slide is, if it works here, maybe I won't be able to do it here. Okay, fees. In real estate deals, it's pretty simple. Most commercial real estate deals, the broker earns a 1% fee, okay? And what will happen is you'll have an agreement with the investor or the developer that, hey, you know what, if I go out and find you financing and it's, the rate's comparable to what you're getting from the banks, you got to pay me a 1% fee. And that is typically a set rate. It's just kind of the standard in the industry, and it has been for years. Just to give you an idea, the average real estate transaction, I just looked this up recently, and this is according to realtors, which is like a registered realtors. But the average commercial property is $1.6 million. So if you take a look at what the average commission is on that, it's $16,000. Now you can see that if you're doing, 10, 15, 20 real estate deals a year, and you become the guy that they know to go to in whatever market you're going after, it doesn't take a whole lot to earn a really good income in this area. Okay, now as far as equipment finance, why isn't that working? Equipment finance is a little bit different. I get into pricing these deals. On smaller deals, say under $75,000, that seems to be the threshold for small deals. And the reason that is so under $75,000, you're going to price these deals with anywhere from, say, 5 points to, say, 10 points. Because it's very rare in equipment finance that you're not making at least $1,000 on a deal. I mean, that's just kind of the, I really didn't have a whole lot of interest in doing a 1% deal on a $10,000 computer. I kind of steered away from it. Maybe I was spoiled, but just keep in mind that if you're adding 5 or 10 points into a deal, you're not raising the rate. Let's just say your local bank, you have a good relationship with your local bank and you take most of your brokered business deals to them. Say they're giving you a 5% buy rate, which is probably pretty typical right now in early 2016 for a good credit. If you say, I want to make a 5-point fee, which is 5% fee, it doesn't mean that you're raising their rate to 10% because your fee is only raising the rate incrementally, and I show you a little exercise in a further coaching series. But so it's not like you're really knocking yourself out of the market competitively. A lot of times in equipment finance, the rate is hidden in the rate. You're just giving your equipment guys that you create relationships with a rate sheet. Sometimes you don't even get questioned on it. But these are the types of fees. So on a $75,000 deals, if you make 10 points on it, you're making $7,500. So that's kind of, and what you have to do is you have to build a book of business. You got to get 15 or 20 equipment guys who sell equipment sending you deals. You want them to be Buzz Glover, the go-to guy for their equipment deals. So that gives you a little idea of the earnings and the fees. Once you build a good book of business, the business becomes much easier. You kind of can live the lifestyle that you want to live. You're not kind of working for the man anymore. You can kind of work the hours you want to work. Obviously, you got to get the work done. You got to create the relationships, and you got to get with both the funding sources and with the equipment guys or the real estate guys. And I show you a number of different ways to market to these guys and to get them to be, for you to become their guys or girl. So let's go back to here. So we talk about the fees you can earn. Okay, let's talk about that. This is for you if there's kind of a few different guys that I think are ideal, or guys, or I apologize for saying guys, but guys or girls that are perfect for this. One is if you always wanted to own a business and you really couldn't find the right one. Maybe you looked into franchises, maybe you looked into buying a business, but then you started looking at the economics of it. You're like, oh, I worked hard to save this money. I don't want to risk this kind of money to own a business. And you kind of just said, all right, I'm not going to do it because I'm not willing to take the risk. This is a perfect business because the startup costs are very minimal and the upside is very high. So that's kind of one. That's a perfect scenario if you're looking for that. If you are in a job right now where you're golden handcuffed, and what I mean by that is you're making a lot of money, and you're like, I really don't like what I'm doing, but I'd like to go out on my own, but I can't seem to find anything that would make sense. This is something you could start part-time. I'm not really highly recommending that because I think you got to go at it full force. If your wife's not working or your husband's not working and you get them started in business, you could come in later. So that would be a good fit. Equipment salespeople are very good at this business. They're a natural fit because they probably in most cases have already leased some equipment. Commercial real estate people are really good. So those types. The last thing is if you're looking for a job, you don't know what else to do, and you're just looking for an opportunity, you'd be a perfect fit for this, at least to go further in the coaching and see if it's a good fit for you. So, okay, we covered that. Okay, this is not for you if this is not a get-rich-quick scheme or anything like that. It doesn't happen overnight. I do think you could fund your first deal within, say, 4 to 6 weeks after you get through the training. Your first funding should earn you at least $1,000. That's on the very low side. It could, there was a guy that I know that got started in the business who went out and did like a $20 million deal right off the bat, which is unusual as well. But it's not a get rich. It's not like you get up in the morning and you don't have to do anything. You got to go out. You got to create relationships with both equipment salespeople and with commercial real estate people and with banks. You know, you got to kind of, because once you find a deal, you got to package it up, and I'll show you how to package it. And then you send it off to the bank, and then the bank either gets back to you, hopefully they get back with you an approval, and you win the deal, and then all you have to do is get the documents signed, and either you get them signed or the bank gets them signed, and you earn your fee. So, but if you think this is a get-rich-quick scheme, it's not. It's probably not for you. If you think that, you know, if you think that you're going to earn $1 million the first year, it's probably not for you. And that's one of the things I want to tell you. And I'm going to skip over, talk about the earnings. I mean, the earnings that I've always made in this business have always been very good, always 6 figures and above pretty much. I can't think of one year that was below 100,000. Many years were up in 300,000-400,000. But I want to let you know that my experience might not be yours. It's not a get rich. I mean, some guys are going to fail at this. They're going to try it, and it's not going to work because they don't go out and do the necessary things that I tell you to do, or they go out and do them and they're just not good at it. I just want to let you know that based on my experience and most of the people I know, it has been good, but you can fail at it, and most people who latch onto these programs will go through the program and not do anything, and a good portion of them, if not most of them, fail at it because they don't do what they need to do. So that's my little earnings disclaimer. I'm kind of jumping ahead because it made sense to do that. We talked about this is not for you if you think it's a get-rich-quick scheme. The startup costs. This is very minimal. It's one of the greatest things about the business. You need a desk. You need a computer. You eventually need a high-speed scanner. You don't need that right off the bat. You need a phone, like a voice over IP phone. You need a cell phone. You need all the basic things that you probably already have. You are going to need a financial calculator. And by the way, you really only have to learn one calculation on this. It's not like you have to be some financial whiz. I teach you the calculation that you need to learn. And it's basically how do you price the deal and how do you earn a fee on it. And it's entering 5 different things in here: the term, the rate that you're getting from the bank, the buyout option at the end, and the interest rate. But I'm missing something there. Term. But anyways, I get into that whole thing. It's very simple. You don't have to be a financial whiz. So the startup costs, and out of all the businesses I owned, and I've owned a ton of them, including one that I'm getting involved in a restaurant right now. It's unbelievable. It's kind of stupid of me, but I mean, it's probably under a couple grand. I never listed it out. I think maybe $3,000 or $4,000. That's if you had to go out and buy everything. Chances are you don't have to. So the beauty of the business, you're taking a very small risk at the beginning because the startup costs are so low. If you completely fail, you're not going to be out, $20, $30, $40, $50,000. You're going to be out a couple $1,000s. If you do well at it, the upside is really, really great as well. So keeping my earnings disclaimer in mind, keep in mind that the low startup cost is another big advantage to the business. So hopefully what I covered here will give you some idea and some sense of the business and how you can make money brokering business loans. What I plan on doing is offering 3 more videos. The next video that I'm going to offer will show you how to go out and find deals each day and have them come to you, actually, by creating relationships with the guys, what I call an annuity approach, where the deals, once you create the relationship, you might get 5 or 6 or 10 deals off of one guy through the year. The second video, not the next video, but the video after that, I'm going to show you how to package the deal and to get a package together that's presentable to a bank. And then in the third deal, I'm going to show you how to, how to hunt down the banks, what banks to send a deal to, what if it's a real estate deal, what if it's an equipment finance deal. And these will all be ways to take you to the next level within your business. And if not anything else, it'll let you know whether this is a business for you or not. So I hope you stick with me. Please leave your comments down below. Send me an email. I'll be glad to help you. I'm here to make sure everyone that comes on with me is as successful as they can be. So thanks again, and I appreciate you sticking with me here today, and look forward to hearing back from you. Thanks.